hey, Jen. We are back on the podcast, and today I'm excited. I saw you girls on Instagram, and listen, you have a little spark that I just was like, I want them on the podcast, especially since you're two twin female entrepreneurs, personal injury attorneys. I think that's really cool. So tell me a little bit about you guys. So first I'm going to start over here, Anita. Anita Medipur?
Yeah.
Medipur? And then Ariana Medipur?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, tell me, why being an attorney? What made you want to go into law?
So I guess what inspired us was our brother. He's an attorney. And we saw him in law school and like practicing law, and that's what we wanted to do. I guess just follow in his footsteps.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
And same?
He's kind of like a mentor for us, and I saw how hard he worked and how successful he was, and that's what made me want to be an attorney.
So there was no fear in it, though, thinking like, maybe like, oh, is it too much, or right away?
No, we were excited.
Yeah.
And then we had him to guide us, luckily, so we knew what to do in law school. We knew what to do when we got out.
Is it the same city?
It is, yes.
He's here also.
Yeah, he's here in
He's here.
Houston.
Can we say his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Hussein Hadi Law Firm.
He's
Yeah.
a hottie?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, y'all
No,
are
but
hottie,
yes.
so he must be a hottie.
Yeah, exactly. But I have, yes,
Yeah.
his name is known. I've heard
Yeah.
him before.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
He has
And
billboards, right?
Yeah, he does
Okay.
market a lot here in Houston.
Yeah.
And Jen, you have a law background.
Yeah. I was a paralegal for 14 years.
Okay.
So I went, got my bachelor's in legal studies, and I was like I was telling you, I was going to go to law school, but then I started doing real estate.
Yeah.
And like I said, either make 90,000 or get in debt for 90,000. So guess what I chose?
You made 90,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
you made the right choice.
Yeah. But
Well, I mean, let me tell you, it's hard in any industry that we work in to be women entrepreneurs. I will say that, to be taken seriously, that is something in its own that I think every woman has experienced. It doesn't matter what career you're in. But tell me a little bit about that, because first of all, let's start from college. How was it in college? I mean, did y'all have issues in college with anybody just being like, really, y'all want to do this? Is this something you think you're going to be good at?
I'm surprised that both of you, twins, probably the same classes and everything.
Well, like I said, I wish I had a twin to study with.
All right.
Yeah, I will say the first year in law in college, we didn't have the same major because I didn't want to do law. I wanted to do dental. And I remember we shared a dorm together, and she would always be sitting in the bed watching Netflix, always. And I would be here studying and taking tests and going to like 8 a.m. classes, and she didn't have classes this afternoon. I'm like, how is your major so easy? And that's why I decided to change to do law and then go into the business school. So I did actually follow her footsteps in college.
Yeah. Oh, so she was already.
She wanted to do law forever, and I wanted to do dental.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I decided to change when my major was so hard and hers was so easy, especially us being so close. She like never did anything, and I'm over here studying all hours of the night. So
Okay, can I ask a question about that, though?
Yeah.
Who's the older twin?
I am.
Okay, and who's the smarter maybe twin?
The books,
Or
the one that's more book.
who does it come easy to?
Ariana. Yeah.
Ariana.
Yeah.
Okay, so, or were you just studying that much harder?
I could have been studying that much harder, but I feel like I had harder classes, the science classes, and she had business classes.
Okay.
And I think that's what it was. And I was jealous. I was like, she gets to sleep early. She gets to sleep in. She gets to watch Netflix. And I have to be here studying all night.
Memorizing body
Smart
Yeah,
choice.
right?
Smart
Yeah.
choice, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was probably meant to be as well.
Yeah.
And so for you, when did you know she was going to wind up coming your way?
No, honestly, I didn't think she would. But I think whenever she got into, I think it was a chemistry class, was it? Or was it Orgo or something? And she's like, I can't do it anymore.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do it. I don't know. Science isn't for me. Yeah.
Well, okay, you're done with college now.
Yeah.
But once you did decide you went into law with her, and you started studying together. How was that? Did y'all help each other, or was it, was there a benefit there?
For me, yeah. Ariana helped me.
She was a smart one.
Yeah, it was like that. I did help her a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't help her, so I guess it was beneficial for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we weren't going to get personal, but I do have one question that you may not want to share, but you can plead the fifth if you want. Who got the higher grades or the higher test score?
It was Ariana.
me.
It was you.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we already know.
You're
Yeah.
like, as long as I passed.
That was my attitude, yeah.
Yeah.
Do y'all have a competition that y'all have between the two of y'all?
No, it was never a competition. I just decided that I would want to work harder, whereas she was like, I just want to get in and get out as long as I pass. So she didn't mind.
I can see that.
And in law
I
school,
could do that too.
and in law school, did you already know what you wanted to do? What type of law you wanted to practice?
Yeah, it's always been personal injury.
Because that's what your brother does, right?
Right.
So it kind of was, you were already in seeing what he does.
Yeah, we worked with him, so we already knew everything.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So y'all were you like a paralegal first, or you just did strictly school?
No, I started with him when I was 16, actually. So
Oh,
I
really?
started as a receptionist, and I just moved my way up. When we got to law school, our first year, it was just strictly school. We couldn't work.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went back again.
Yeah. Because it's completely different.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Being in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So now that you guys, graduate, and then you go back into work with him, right? And so in that setting, did he take you serious, or was he still like my little sisters?
Oh, no, he took us seriously. He threw us into everything.
Yeah.
Depositions, hearings, no practice, just throw us in there. He
Okay.
wanted us to learn. He definitely believed in us. He believed we can take care of the clients, and that's the one thing I'm happy about. Even with trials, I think I was maybe 2 months licensed. He threw me into a trial. He threw me up there in front of the jury. And
Did
he
they
said,
know that he was your brother?
Yes, he would say it. He would say it. Yeah, so he would, and he wouldn't. He said, "You don't need practice. Just go up there and do it. That's your practice."
Yeah. That's not, I could see that. That's scary.
It's scary, but it helps.
Yeah.
So instead, because I know a lot of our colleagues, like our people who went to law school with us, after a year, they're still not doing any depositions. And they were shocked. They're like, how are you doing depositions? And I'm like, well, our brother believes in us. He lets us do it.
Yeah.
And as a paralegal, with the attorney that I work with, there were people that would, work with him that just came out of law school. And I was actually teaching them how to do everything. Because all they knew was, what law school, what they teach you, just saw everything in the book. But practice is completely different.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just you two in your office now, right?
It
Okay,
is.
so because obviously you have your own law office now and you're practicing for yourselves. And is that scary? I mean, when you're going into that, I mean, I could see, it doesn't matter what age you are, when you do this for yourself, you could be 40 or 50 and starting your own business. It's got to seem scary. You got to pay the bills now, right? It's on you. Do you have employees?
We don't. It's just us right now.
That's it?
Yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, you ready for an employee? It's got to,
We're not ready for an
No?
employee yet. I think we're good. We're good, us two, right now. I will say I was scared. I was nervous. Anita wasn't at all. I was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never nervous or scared.
What did your brother say?
He's happy for us.
Yeah.
He was upset that we were leaving, but he's happy. He's supportive.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. So I guess now, I mean, you guys have been doing it for a while now. Like you said, you were kind of already got your feet wet ahead of time with your brother. But how is it being taken seriously in this industry? It's still a man's world. I mean, we're paving the way out here for women and, moving forward in different areas, but I still think we all see it. Doesn't matter what career you're in. Any stories, anything to share?
Yeah, I have a few stories. So usually when we're taking depositions, because we're so new, and to most people, like most attorneys that have been practicing a while, like only being licensed for 3 years is still like you're new to the legal industry. So sometimes they'll come into depositions and they'll think they can ask our client questions and that we won't object or we won't know that we need to object, and so they'll try to trick us. Yeah.
So like a scenario, what would you say that you've had where you felt like, I don't know, they've tried to maybe get between you and your client?
Yeah, so there was an attorney one time that I remember, and he was asking my client questions like how much she makes, how much she pays for rent, and how she affords having 3 kids, paying rent, and then because of the job she did, just asking offensive questions like how she affords her groceries, and I just had to stop him, and I had to end the deposition. I think that deposition was maybe 20 minutes long because he kept harassing her.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I mean, as women, that's something I think that...
And for you to defend a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, for you to be able to just say, let's go. I'm pretty sure he was surprised.
Yeah. No, after I kept objecting, he kept asking her questions, and I said, you need to
They're
stop.
aggressive.
Yeah, they get aggressive.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that as women we can relate to, especially if you see another woman being intimidated, as for you guys are able to stand up and be like, nope, not around here, not around here,
But they'll respect you more. I've seen it, time and time again where, in this industry where, a man is trying to intimidate the girls. And then if you're pretty, they also think, oh, she's probably not all there, but showing them, they'll respect you more for it.
Yeah. And we look young.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah,
other
we
thing.
look really young.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's going against you. But you're doing it right. So I'm sure you have a story. Do you have a story to tell?
Yeah, I do. It was an attorney, a defense attorney, and he called and he was talking about a case, and he said, I remember him specifically saying, and he represented the defendant, so we represent the plaintiff, and he specifically said, I can't find my client. Do you know what that means? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I know what that means. And to people who I guess don't know what that means, it basically means he can't find his client to present for deposition, so let's settle the case. I can't find my client, let's settle the case. But obviously I knew what that meant, and the way he was talking to me was just so demeaning. He was talking to me like I'm a child. His voice, the sound in his voice and how he was talking. And so I know that really upset me, and it upset my brother too, because there was a recording.
And how did y'all handle it?
My brother handled it for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a situation like that too, it's like, why would he think that it would just be like, okay, you're going to just do what he says and settle the case?
Yeah, and then before he even spoke, he's like, how long have you been an attorney?
Oh, yeah.
Or how long have you worked for your brother? And I was like, I mean, what, does it matter?
That's not your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you could ask that question just because, but still, it's demeaning.
Yeah.
That's tough. I could see. But now moving forward, I mean, how do you girls feel like you're going to handle stuff like that now? Now I guess you kind of have to let it roll off your shoulder and just be like, let me show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you,
Yeah, I will say that was the first time, and it offended me, and I was upset, but now I'm just used to it. Mm-hmm. It is a male-dominated industry. A lot of women are coming into it, but they still think, especially the older men, they still think they dominate. So I just let them think that.
Not
as long
the
as
older
they
men.
the ones that have been around for a while. Yeah, they definitely.
I mean, why aren't they getting it yet? We're not going anywhere.
They don't retire. They're like 70, 80.
You're right.
Yeah.
They
don't.
I mean, you don't have a retiring age for a lawyer.
And then, it does fall into the, like, I'm the old breadwinner and you know what I mean? Like, not anymore. Like, that industry has changed. If anything, the way it's working out here in these streets, it's a 50-50 turning into, I mean, everybody has to pay on something because it's just expensive to live. But I think some of the other things that I wanted to address with you girls is, like, now that you are in this industry, you've seen, I mean, just Houston alone is nothing but car accidents. Traffic, like, it's a hot mess. So what tips do you suggest to the local drivers out here as PI attorneys?
I would suggest make sure you have full coverage insurance to make sure you're covered. So if you do get into an accident and it's not your fault and the other person isn't insured, then you're able to have yourself covered with your insurance.
Well, so when you get insurance, which insurance is extremely high right now, they're going to say, here's full coverage, this is the options, and they're going to tell you, do you want this, do you want that, comprehension, all these different things. Can you break that down? Like, because someone might get bare minimal and not understand how that works or what situation they could be. So would one of y'all break that down?
Yeah, so always elect to get underinsured and uninsured motorists and then personal injury protection coverage, because that's one thing that the insurance agents usually trick you into rejecting. So if you reject that, then you're not covered, and you think you are, but you're not. Okay. So I would always say make sure you have the underinsured and uninsured on your policy and then personal injury protection on your policy.
And the limitations on it? I think there's
the minimal. The minimal is 30,000. Mm-hmm. So that's what most people get, but I think it's best to go up to maybe get a $50,000 policy.
You gets hit or whatever, those cars sometimes are not. They're not 30,000 anymore, right?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think some people, they think, well, I'm going to go the cheap route because I'm just going to, people are going to hit me and they're going to be suing me for my insurance. But really, in reality, people are hitting you that don't have insurance, and it's protecting yourself. And I think that you're limiting yourself as well if you get into a situation where they don't have insurance.
Yeah.
And it falls on you. But what about gap insurance? Do you think gap insurance that people should have? But I mean, that's something obviously if you have a new car, right?
Yeah, I would say every new car, even every car that's not paid off yet, you should gap insurance, because time and time again we see clients who don't have gap insurance and unfortunately they're upside down on their car. And I would recommend it.
And in this industry right now, I guess that's kind of what's happening because the cars skyrocketed after COVID. And so a lot of people bought these really expensive cars. And so I've seen car salesmen talking about that, how they're coming in with a huge loan rolling over onto another car because of that. So I could totally see where that makes sense. But I mean, Jen, you have any tips or to ask them if they could share?
Well, no, I just wanted to know what people, whenever you come into the courtroom and they see both of you, like their faces are probably like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like both of you.
Yeah.
Get them all.
We do get a lot of stares. I don't know if it's because sometimes I think it's because we look young,
Yeah.
but most times it's probably because we're twins.
Yeah.
I will say we get stared at a lot, especially going in together. But even me going in separately, I think I went last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know why all eyes were on me. And then there was a Galveston court. In Galveston, it's civil and criminal. So the criminal court cases are going on with the clients of the criminal cases. And when I went up for my case, they're all staring at me because I don't look like I'm an attorney. So I went up saying I represent someone. And when I walked in and walked out, they just kept looking at me. It's like their eyes move with you and their head moves with you. So you can
It's
tell.
like unbelievable. I don't
Yeah.
think,
Yeah, I
Wait.
think they will always assume that we're legal assistants when we walk into the courtroom.
yeah.
Clients. What about clients? Have you had where a client might have been like, when they see you, like maybe that they don't feel like you can do the job for them, or just because, like some people that call you up and they've never seen you before. Have you had something like that? And then that afterwards, maybe that they're like, wow, you girls are amazing.
No, because when we got licensed to be attorneys, it was when COVID happened. And so now when you sign clients up, it's all through
Oh, they have to see
online.
you.
Online.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't really see the clients.
Oh, you don't see them.
We
So
don't.
some
Yeah.
you've never even seen.
Yeah,
Okay, so they just hear you on the phone.
right.
Okay, wow.
You sound like young too.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone said that. I think last week I spoke with someone from the insurance company. They're like, wow, you're an attorney. You sounded really young. But she wasn't rude. It was a compliment.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, I can see that. So, do you have any clients that feel like, I guess, after the fact, that felt like they were happy that they actually got two young, pretty girls that maybe could get the job done in a way that a man couldn't do it?
I will say there's a few. I've never had a client, even when they see me in person, clients never were rude about how young I was. They will say you're a young attorney, but they never doubted me or doubted us. So we always had good clients, fortunately, and they believed in us. So yeah, we've had a few clients like that.
Have you had like a case that has been really, really difficult?
Always.
Well,
Always.
Is there that one that you have to think about? I mean, anything that's public, of course, nothing that's attorney-client privilege, but
Yeah.
anything that's tough that you could maybe.
I can't think of one on top of my
Okay,
head.
'cause they're
They're all most of them are challenges, especially ones where they're not paying out and we need to file a lawsuit, but we overcome them.
Yeah.
What do y'all do all sizes, or do you sometimes refer to your brother to take on like bigger cases with that, or y'all trying to knock those out yourself now?
We'll take it ourselves. Yeah.
Have y'all done an 18-wheeler yet?
We currently
nice.
have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has that been challenging?
No, not yet.
No.
Yeah, it's been good so far.
And personal injury, what is that all involved with? Just whoever's
So we do car accidents, dog bites, motorcycle accidents, pedestrian accidents, 18-wheelers, commercial trucks, like all of it.
Yeah. So definitely, if you get in an accident, you want to
Where
reach
are
out
y'all
to these
located?
girls.
Yeah.
Where
We're located in the gallery area, so off of Post Oakenwood Way.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Central.
Yeah. Yeah.
So besides all of that, do you think that what would you say to a young girl who wants to become maybe an attorney? Would you suggest
Or an older
PI
girl.
or not or be, yeah,
Or an older girl.
or an old girl going back to school?
Whichever one.
Is it worth the debt? No.
Yeah, no. It's worth it? No.
What would you say? I mean, if you could go back, would you still pick PI?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would pick PI only because I haven't explored other options. And if I were talking to someone that would be asking me, I would say, yes, go to law school. The debt is worth it, but you need to be passionate about it. So don't just think about the money that you're going to make when you're an attorney. You need to be passionate about what you do. And as far as doing other fields, I can't talk on that because I didn't look into other fields and I don't know how it works. I'm sure there's other fields where you do less work and make more money. So it's something that I would tell the little girl to look into or the older girl to look into.
And so what about, okay, so now that you're an attorney, obviously, dental? Would you go
Ever
back
go
and
back?
do it? Or
No, I
You're
wouldn't.
happy
I
with
don't
the
think I
choice?
could pass those class. I don't think I could pass dental school. So whoever does it, props to them. I can't do it.
so was it really hard? Was law school really hard?
No.
How do you feel about that? What was the hardest?
The bar exam?
The bar
Yeah,
exam.
the bar exam for sure was hard. And I will say the first year of law school, you have to try really hard, but
Yeah.
that's the only part that was hard. The rest of it was fine.
Maybe it was our school too. I know that we went to Thurgood Marshall at TSU. People say it's an easier school. I don't know about the other schools because obviously we didn't attend there. But I will say I agree with her. After the first year, you're good.
So I need to go to TSU when I go.
Yeah, you should go to TSU.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen, we're going to law school.
I know. I told her I'm going to go back.
Do we look
I
like
don't know
twins?
when.
Kind of.
I don't know when, but I am going to go back.
Yeah.
No, she keeps talking about it. I just want to know when she's going to find the time.
That's
Yeah.
the issue.
That's the
because
issue.
if I do, I have to quit everything else.
You do, especially for the first year. You have to focus on law school.
Yeah.
Because
So
there
you
is a
gotta
curve.
eat your kids.
It's like,
Got to get rid
I
of them.
know. I'd be like, are you out yet? Because, yeah, no, I know.
Well, ladies, I am thankful that you came on the show. It's a lot of valuable information. And like I said, out here, women are just trying to make it, trying to succeed. And I love to see two girls, beautiful, fabulous twin girls doing their
Yes.
thing, women at that.
Yeah.
And so I hope you guys come back on the show again.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
thank you for having us. It was
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.